Almost 60 million people around the world are living as refugees right now, according to figures released by the United Nations. It's the highest number of displaced people there's ever been. Well, join me from Geneva to discuss this is Babar Baloch from the UN's refugee agency, UNHCR. Many thanks for joining us here on Sky News. Is the reality here that for the vast majority of refugees who are trying to cross the borders to go to places like Northern Europe, is the reality for them that they've got a lot of problems within their own countries, their own internal strifes, and up until those problems in their respective countries are sorted, you're still going to have refugees trying to leave them?
Exactly. I mean, today is the World Refugee Day, a day where we stand as human beings in solidarity with the victims of war and persecution. And as these people, women and children, as they have been uprooted, their lives are in danger and they can't return where they belong to, the only way is look for safety. And this trend is global. It's not that people are trying to reach or seek safety in Europe. People are uprooted and trying to seek safety in Africa, in Asia, in the Americas, and everywhere they can. So the most important thing is to provide that safety, because asylum and treatment of refugees has been a noble tradition since the beginning of the civilization.
So how do we address this problem? I mean, what needs to be done now in order to tackle this issue?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is a political will. When we look around ourselves, in last 5 years, there have been 15 conflicts which have either reignited or have started. So wherever we look, there's conflict and war. So we are, as a humanitarian organization, are looking for that political will from the world powers and international community to try to sit down and resolve these problems, because these are not just numbers, these are human beings and human suffering at mass scale. So if you don't have the political will to resolve these situations, we can't handle this. The other is stand in solidarity, shouldering the burden with the hosts. I mean, 86% of world refugees and displaced are in the neighboring countries and region, developing countries, the least developing countries. So it's time that there should be equal burden sharing as well.
And it's interesting that you just mentioned numbers there, because it's so easy to get caught up in, 100 refugees found here, thousands of refugees fleeing the border. But the reality here is these are human beings, and these are sometimes whole families too.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers, the report that we have issued, which says 60 million people displaced either as IDPs, internally displaced, or refugees, majority of them are children, women, on the run all the time. So this is what we need to keep in the mind, Today is a day which is calling on human compassion. It's like, if we care, and we must care, then we should find a way to help these people, Imagine 42,500 people fleeing every day of last year. And even this year, when we have new conflicts erupting here and there, where is this going to end? So the call is to sit down and resolve it. Otherwise, help humanitarian organizations like UNHCR. I mean, for us, this is a political failure at a big scale, and then we as humanitarians are dealing with the consequences. We don't have the resources to help so many people, and we are not asking for more. We're just asking for the basics that we could help these people restore hope and lives.
Can you foresee a time where the global number of refugees is down to the small millions or even the hundreds of thousands?
I mean, there used to be a time 10 years ago when we will report numbers and we would say this year 1 million people were able to return home, and this was 2005. And when we look back at last year, only 126,000 people were able to return back. Refugees don't want to stay far from their homes, and this is what the numbers are telling us. But the problem is things are not getting resolved. So places like Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Burundi, Nigeria, I mean, these are people, they want to be home. All of us want to be home, and they can't. So till the time that doesn't happen, then we need a mechanism that we are able to help these desperate people.
OK, Babar, many thanks for your insight. Interesting indeed. Babar Baloch from the UN's refugee agency, UNHCR.